Hello everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of The Prayer Jar. This is somewhat of an intro video. Well, this is an intro video to hopefully what this channel will become. This is an idea that I've had for quite some time. I felt compelled to take the love of God that I've come to find out was still here with me after like over 20 years, to take that to people and to share with them the power of prayer. What I want this channel's purpose to be, my goal is to bring the joy of prayer to everybody. Here's the thing, I'm not a Catholic apologist. This is a Catholic channel. This is based around the Catholic faith, which I can only pray that, everybody from here to Timbuktu and Protestants and whoever it is specifically comes to Catholicism, because it is the ultimate truth, and I truly do believe that. Starting off in my journey, I just seem to get really attracted to prayer. It's poetry, it's beautiful, it does absolute wonders in your life, and I can't stress that enough. Like I was saying, I'm not a Catholic apologist, quite frankly. I am not smart enough to be one. I would highly recommend that you go check out people like Matt Fradd, Trent Horn, Jimmy Akins for stuff like that. They're not going to be perhaps as in depth or full of really profound philosophy and all that kind of stuff. I simply want to pray. I want to share prayers. I want to pray for you, and I can only hope that you'll pray for me as well. So, the prayer jar. Right here, we've got our prayer jar. So basically, this is filled with prayers that I wrote out beforehand. We could probably get through, it's probably not as much as I think, but basically, we're going to go into our prayer jar, we're going to reach in, we're going to pull out a prayer, and that'll be our prayer for today. I want to introduce a new prayer every week that hopefully will resonate with people, that hopefully there's one that you really like, or you can relate to it, or it seems to fit into that day or that week's devotion, or it relates to something particular that you're going through, and maybe you hadn't heard of it before and you thought, what, I really like this prayer, I want to say this, I want to include this in my daily routine. And I think that's fantastic. That is what I want to be able to provide to you. And that's something that I wish I had when I first started out. I wanted to, what's the prayer for this? What's the prayer for this? What's the prayer for this? And of course you can easily get, a Catholic book of prayers that has every prayer you can possibly imagine. I mean, I have one too. But I figured I want to come together as a Catholic community. And even for people that are just scrolling, or they have this thought about Christianity or the Catholic faith, and they're curious, and maybe you see this, maybe you get introduced to a prayer, maybe you implement prayer into your everyday life, and then you see amazing results, which I can almost guarantee that you will. Because through the intercession of saints, talking to the Virgin Mary, talking to Jesus Christ, stuff starts to happen in your life and inside of your heart, I guarantee you. So, we're going to pull out of this prayer jar, we're going to do a prayer. I mean, lots of things. There's lots of things that we can do, and I just want to be able to share that with you and introduce a new prayer as we go along in the journey of our faith. It's a long journey. It's a difficult one. It's a blessing, but it can be challenging. It's difficult. It's difficult to strive to be that saint that we know we should strive to be. And there are a lot of things in this world that get in the way. And you know what's really good to distract yourself from that, to get over that? Daily Mass, for one, which, of course, I'm not able to do all the time. We have lives. Prayer. Daily prayer. If you can find a way to implement it into your everyday life, make it a consistent thing, almost instantly see the good works that start to occur, the good happenings that start to occur. I've come back after a very long time. I was baptized. I did my first communion when I was about 5 years old. And then marriages separated. I went one way. I ended up over here, then taken over here. Protestantism was a big part of my life. I spent a good chunk of my formative years in Texas. And while that was great and that kept me connected, well, it wasn't for me. I guess we'll go with that. But beyond that, for maybe the last 15 years, I've been gone. I made horrible decisions. I really did. Really bad decisions. I was reckless. I was impulsive. I denied God's existence, even. And that led to a vulnerability in my head, in my heart, in my soul, that didn't really work out all that great. I treated people horribly. I treated myself horribly. I drank too much. I didn't have a care in the world. I was disgusted with myself. I was lonely. I was depressed. I felt abandoned and I felt rejected. And that ended up making other relationships in my life extremely complicated. About 3 years ago, it got so bad that I committed an act upon myself because I didn't want to be here anymore. That led to a terrifying, excruciating week in a mental care facility. And while that helped, while it was also traumatizing, it helped. While that helped, things turned around. I ended up going back to college, beyond my bachelor's degree, to keep studying. And I felt better. I got on medication, and I felt better. Started changing the way that I lived my life. I calmed down a lot. I redirected my thoughts and feelings towards other things, and I was good. But I wasn't great. There was always something missing. Over the course of the last 3-4 years, as far away as I had made it pretty far. But I needed to go a little bit further. I got dragged through the mud all this way by myself without any guidance or help. And I made it far enough where I believe I was just close enough that somebody wanted to help me with the rest of it. And so a hand reached out, and I felt the fingertips and got it. And just like that, I came back to the Catholic faith. God was waiting for me that whole time, and I finally found my way back. It didn't matter that it was over 20 years. It didn't matter what I did or what I had been through or how much I denied him. He loves me, and he loves every single one of you. Out of this vast universe, this expansive, unfathomable universe, God loves you more than anything else he's ever created. And I believe that we need to keep up with that communication with him, that we need to keep up that relationship with him. We need to pray. We need to attend Mass, receive that Eucharist, pray, do good works, and live our lives through him, for him, and for others. It's my little mantra now that I try to go by, through him, for him, and for others. So no matter how far gone, or if you're even just curious, he'll take you back, no questions asked, and your life will greatly improve. It's like a light switch. I woke up one day, I went to Mass, and within 24 hours, my life was different from that point on, and I've never looked back. I've sinned, I've made mistakes, Oh yeah, it's going to happen. But I will never look back, and I can never imagine going back. No matter what's happened to you, there is a love and a suffering that happened for you greater than anything you could possibly imagine. You are we are all the most important thing in existence. So anyway, with all of that being said, I just want to let you know that I am going to be here. If a few people catch these videos, out of like the 8 billion people on the planet, if 5 of you see it and you like it, great. This is something that is good for me. It's good for you if you're watching. It's something that I just feel is right to do. Something that I feel compelled to do, to share Catholicism and prayer. You know, like I said before, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna have a lot of answers because I'm learning. I'm starting RCIA this month, matter of fact, and I couldn't be more excited. I'm practicing, I'm learning all the time, and I've got a long way to go. But I want to do this with you. And if you have any recommendations, suggestions of certain prayers or saints that you want to hear about, you can leave a comment. Or what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be attaching a prayer jar request email in the description of the video, and you can email me. You can email the prayer jar. You can give me tips, suggestions, pointers on anything that you want to. I will greatly appreciate that. But also, you can submit your own prayer requests. If you want to go ahead and send an email and slip your prayer request into the virtual prayer jar, so to speak, I will do what I can to bring that request onto the show, anonymously or whatever you prefer. Or even if you just want to send an email and you don't want it to be on the channel, then I'll do my best just to respond and let you know that you will be included in my prayers. I think that just about concludes it. It's going to be a little bit of a rough go starting out. I mean, obviously I made that apparent with this first intro video, but this is what I want to share with everybody, and by all means feel free to participate. So from this point on, we'll start getting into our prayers. I'll be praying for you. Please pray for me. Pray for the good things that we can do here, together, and for each other. And always remember, live through Him, for Him, and for others. Until next time, thank you. All right.